Hey, what's going on, guys? So today on this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about Wallaru and all the gear updates and how to obtain them and the strategies to defeat the bosses that drop the gear, right? I know it's kind of late. I'm sure there are other videos out there, but, well, you know, I've just been kind of busy. It didn't feel like recording automatically. I just wanted to, like, get to quest, feel Wallaru, all that stuff. I got a couple characters to 170. 170 PvP is on its way. It's gonna be coming out very shortly. I'm gonna do some videos for 170 PvP. I've gotten a couple characters ready to go. But without that, let's get started. So in this update, there are only 4 pieces of gear that have come out. You can get the Athames, the amulets, the rings, and the decks, and the 170 pins. Well, they're mostly gonna be with punishing pins and the brand new square health jewels, which give a massive amount of HP. Right? So this world is mostly similar to Novus, but with a better pity system when it comes to gears and gear drops. So I'll explain how that works when I get to the bosses. Alrighty, so the first piece of gear is the amulet. The amulet drops from a side boss. It is the only boss that is a side boss that drops amulet. Kind of like how, hey, what's that dog in La Ville Rose? Oh, the spy guy. Right? You know, like the spy fight in La Ville Rose, how he has a side boss. You have to do some quest to get it. He drops the Aeon boots. He's the only side boss. The amulet boss is the same thing here, right? So you talk to this lady Cortexia, this frog lady at the Billabong Resort, right? It's on the left side of the building. So as you can see from here, like when you enter Billabong Resort, make sure you go all the way to the left side of the building, and you'll see the quest mark on her head. She's the only one that actually gives you a quest in this area. There are no, I believe, to my knowledge, there are no other side quests available in this area. So grab the one side quest in this area. You can even use this. Oh, I have it disabled. I turned off the quest helper. But if you enable the quest helper, you can click on it. It will take you to her as well. I don't need to accept the quest because I already have every amulet. I got all the amulets I need. I did on another character, so I don't need this. Alright, once you accept that side quest, it will directly take you to this cave right here. This is Crash Bandicoot's cave. He is the boss that drops the amulets. And the amulets are like this. There's a Reaver amulet. And do I have it here? On this character? I have every amulet for both, but I don't know if I just bring because it's like, there it is. And the best amulets are the Reaver amulets. That's for all schools. All school amulets is called Reaver. So something Dream Reaver. So it's the Dream Reaver amulets. And this boss right here is the one that drops it, Crash Bandicoot. So and he also drops, oh yeah, I forgot. He also drops the outgoing pins / resist pins. He drops these pins as well. Although, because of the resist update, these pins are now worthless. But if you're a storm or life or fire or balance, but although outgoing, you can get the outgoing pins for outgoing setups. So I would recommend farming this boss for outgoing pins if you're a storm or a life. Or you can even do it on a fire or balance if you want a troll or something, because you know you can get outgoing in these schools, even though outgoing is pretty garbage. But if you want it, it's there. And or if you're not in any of these schools, you can get blocking pins here just for you. So you take less damage from getting crit on, because you gotta wear a lot of gear that gives a square pin. You might as well just socket block. But that's not the point. So this guy drops the amulets and the resist pins. And how you beat this guy is a simple 1-round strat. There are multiple 1-round strats. You can Scald Insidiate, someone mass faints, a fire uses Scald, and the last person uses Insidiate with a fire mastery, or if they're not a fire, or without a mastery. If they are regular fire with a decathlon deck, it will detonate the overtime. It will automatically kill the boss every single time. Or if you don't have that, you can just feint stack and then use a bunyip or a phantasmania, whatever it is. You can use this, whatever it is, and you'll one-shot him every single time as well. This boss has no major cheats of any kind, so you can feint stack and blade stack to your heart's content. And you'll most likely 1 round, and if not 1 round, then you will definitely 2 round, because this boss is very, very easy. Nothing complicated, no major cheats to report. And that's how you'll get the amulets. And the drop rates are very, very high. So within a couple of runs, like 3 to 5 runs, you will more than likely have at least one Reaver amulet. Also to note that every time you fight this boss, you'll get a Dream Water every single run. And after beating this boss 10 times, you'll get a badge called Crash and Earn this badge. Once you beat this guy 10 times and got the badge, right? And if you know, and if you want to track your progress, just go look at Wallaru. Go to your badges, look at Wallaru. Look at the badge like this. Like this is the last boss. So that's how you know your progress towards the badge. And then once you get a badge, you can craft any of the drops from that boss with Dream Waters and Dream Stones. Dream Water you'll get every single run, depending on which boss you fight. Crash Bandicoot drops one every single time, so you're gonna get one Dream Water guaranteed every single time from this boss. And Dream Stones you can pick up all over the ground. So Dream Water is like how pixels were in Novus, and Dreamstone is like how polygons were in Novus. It's the same concept with these reagents as it is in Novus. Although unlike in Novus, you will not need 9 pieces of tier 2 gear to craft what you want. You only need the reagents. There's no more masterpiece. If you get a speaking of masterpiece, there is a masterpiece version of the gear called the Warper set. You can instantly trash it. It is worthless. It is not good. And that goes for all the gear pieces. Athame, ring, and deck. It is utterly worthless. Instant trash. You cannot convert them to the tier 1. The only way to get to tier 1 by crafting is with the Dream Waters and Dream Stones, which you'll get enough after a couple of runs. And there's a boss you can farm, which I'll talk at in a moment here, that drops 2 to 3 Dream Waters at a time. So if you farm that boss 10 times, not only will you get his badge, but you'll have enough Dream Water to craft whatever gear you'd like. And that in this concept applies to all the bosses. Although, however, keep in mind though, you can only craft the gear piece for that boss that you have the badge of. All 4 bosses have their own badge. So for example, if you get the Crash Bandicoot badge, by beating him 15 times, 10 to 15 times, around there, I forgot, you can only craft stuff that he drops. So if you get the Crash Bandicoot badge, you cannot craft the Athame, ring, and deck. And you can only craft the shield pins, because that is what is on his drop table. And this applies to all the bosses. So if you want to craft every piece of gear, you'll have to defeat these bosses 10 to 15 times. The last boss is 15 times. Crash Bandicoot, I think he's also 15. Oh, no, I think it could be 20, I think. But I don't know. Because he's the easiest, right? Because again, he's a 1 round, no major cheats at all. Although you can 1 round pretty much almost every single boss. You can 1 turn the 3 of the 4 bosses, and then the last boss you can 2 round it. So you'll be killing within 1 to 2 rounds every single run with guaranteed Dream Water. 2 to 3 if you're farming the Freddy Krueger, Montgomery last boss, and then 1 for Crash Bandicoot. Although keep in note that these bosses do have a challenge mode. Do not do them. They are absolutely worthless. They are not worth it. They don't increase drops. The only thing they do is they drop extra Dream Waters. So you'll get more Dream Waters in that 1 run. But the problem is that run takes so much longer. By the time you do 1 run in challenge mode, you could have easily done 5 or 6 runs in normal mode, thus resulting in more Dream Water overall. So do not do any of these bosses in challenge mode. It is a waste of time. It is worthless. For some reason, they don't guarantee a Reaver drop. Right? The drops are not increased. They're not guaranteed. They are worthless. They are garbage every single time. So do not do these bosses in challenge mode. So with that concept, let's move on to the second boss. Alrighty, and now for the second boss, Freddy Krueger. This boss will drop the Athames, the Damage Jewels, and yes, Damage Jewels. They are brand new Damage Jewels and Pierce Jewels. So, and yes, the Pierce Jewels are now dropped from this guy and are craftable. And so how you beat Freddy Krueger is exactly the same how you beat Crash Bandicoot, but with 1 extra step. At the beginning of the first round, Freddy Krueger will dispel your entire team of your school. So what you have to do to beat this guy is the Skeleton Insidiate strategy, but with a Cleanse Charm involved. So the idea is a non-storm wizard has to use Cleanse Charm on the fire, and then the guy going second has to use Mass Feint on a non-death. And then the fourth guy has to Insidiate on a non-fire. So it's exactly the same thing how you would beat Crash Bandicoot. So just switch up the schools, get a fire mastery, and you'll win every single time. If you cannot Skeleton Insidiate, you're gonna have to just take off the Dispel and then Blade Up and hit. As always, you can get like a 2 to 3 round. You can get a 3-round run with this guy. You can win in 3 rounds if you don't have a Skeleton Insidiate. Just watch out not to hit on round 1 for that Dispel. That is it. This boss will actually drop 2 to 3 Dream Waters every single time. And this is the fastest way to get the most amount of Dream Waters with the shortest amount of time. So this is where you see a lot of people farming for Dream Water. And this boss drops the ring, the Dream Reaver rings, for all schools. As you can see, I have a fire ring on this character. I have a life. I have an ice. I have an ice ring. I have multiple ice rings. I probably should trash a couple. I have a balance ring. I have a storm ring. I'll keep these for multiple setups because you can run like multiple setups. So this is the ring boss. This boss also drops Pierce Jewels. All the Pierce Jewels. All these jewels are not locked. All of these I got from Freddy Krueger. And I've locked a couple of these. Look at those, all those Pierce Jewels. This guy reigns in Pierce Jewels. Oh, speaking of jewels. Time to get... Ew, what do I have this garbage? Although this thing has been locked in my bag for years when critical used to be good. That's why I had them. This was for high crit setups back when crit actually mattered. And yes, this is not flat damage. This is real damage. So these updates introduce an alternative to the Pierce Jewels. You can add these damage tools to get 10% damage. This is not flat damage. This is not like the other damage tools. It is not flat. It is actual 10% real raw damage. Though do be careful that these jewels are school exclusive. You can trade these, but you can only equip them for that school. As you can see right here, this is a fire school only jewel. So I can only put this on my fire. I cannot transfer these to my other characters unless there's fires, if I have multiple fires for some reason, and equip them. So if you have any other characters, you cannot transfer these. You will not be able to use them. They work exactly like how the pins work. And that is because every single school gets their own damage with these jewels. For example, fire gets 10 damage for every single school of these jewels. A school like Ice and Life gets 9, Storm gets 11, and I'm not sure about the rest. So every school has their own damage, and they work exactly like how pins work, although they are jewels, which means they are shattered. So once you have them on, they are on. They're not coming off. Although, luckily, this only applies to the damage jewels. This does not apply to the Pierce jewels. You can trade these to any character that you want, as you please. Although, one thing to note, and just like Crash Bandicoot, once you get enough runs in, you'll get the badge, which you'll be allowed to craft them for the same cost as crafting the amulet. So you have to beat this guy 10 times, you'll get the badge, and then you can craft any ring that you'd like. And then Stalker rings are like the Eternal rings. These rings are awful. Do not craft these. Although the Stalker amulets are really good. The Stalker amulets are the only good Stalker pieces of gear. All the other pieces are just not good for Stalker, because they give a lot of more HP, and a square socket instead of a circle that can give you more HP. You only need a Reaver amulet. They're just like how Eternal works. But that's not that important. Although the jewel crafting is a lot cheaper than crafting the actual gear pieces. Every jewel costs, well, the punchy ones cost 12, but these circle jewels, they cost only 10 Dream Water. And trust me, you'll get a lot of Dream Water as you're farming. You'll have a lot. I've barely done any farming on this character, and I have 48. I have like 80, 90 on my Storm, and they're very easy to farm. Like, these are not difficult to farm. And basically, you no longer have to go to Mirage and farm these baboons or burn your money in a crown shop at these garbage jewel packs. You can now craft any jewel you'd like for Pierce. And they are tradable And and the Pierce ones are, luckily, they're not school exclusive, so you can use them on any character you'd like. You can also get critical jewels. They're school exclusive. They're terrible. Do not bother, but they're there. They exist. And you can craft the damage jewels, although again, be careful, they are school exclusive. So just watch out for that. And that is it for this boss. And now for the last two bosses. The third boss, Mr. Montgomery, drops the dex and the punishing pins for dual schooling. This boss is very important because the dex are a very important part of piece of gear because they now give circle sockets. That's right, circle sockets on a deck, which is really, really fantastic. You can add damage, you can add Pierce, depending on what setup you go. I have Myth Pierce because I run dual school and I basically have max stats on Pierce on my fire. So I have room to add some extra Myth Pierce. But that's not the point. So this guy drops the dex, and this boss works exactly like the other two. You can Scout Insidiate. Or you can feign every round and just one-shot him on turn 1. This boss has a really annoying cheat that he spams blades every single round, he'll spam Tempest as a cheat every single round. It doesn't stop you from blading and fainting, doesn't stop you from scouting or insidiate, but if you don't kill him quickly, it's just gonna get annoying. It's not there. This boss is not difficult, but if you don't one-turn him, then he can get annoying. You'll have to watch the Tempest animation, you have to watch him blade. A lot of animation time if you don't one round him, 1 to 2 round him. But yeah, you can do whatever you want with this guy. Although this place is like a dungeon, it does have some minions. Do not fight the minions. You don't have to fight them. You can go around them. So with this place, you just simply have someone walk up to the minions, pull the minions, and then the rest of the team goes around. And then the guy that pulls, flees, comes back, and does it again for the second minion fight. Pulls the minions, the rest of the team goes around, he flees and comes back. The minions will lose their pulling power after one pull, like every other mob in Wizard101. So the puller will also be able to go around after getting pulled once. Because fighting those minions is a waste of time. They don't do anything, you can go around them. That's the only thing I gotta tell you about this place. But other than that, the boss is nothing special. You can one-turn them, you can two-turn them, and you'll be fine. You will get guaranteed Dream Water like the rest, and a very good chance of getting the Dream Reaver dex and punishing pins for the dual school that you're going for. He drops the 170 pins. I've crafted them because, well, I found this guy where I can craft them for measly. I forgot. He also drops the health jewels. He also drops the new square health jewels. As you can see, I've gotten a couple. These jewels are square, they are not tiers, there are no new tier sockets. The best tier sockets are just your standard old novice health. These are square sockets, so you can socket these, and your rings, your wands, or amulet if you're running the defensive one, or athame, like I have right here. Oh, actually, I don't use that because I need my accuracy, because you take off the triangle socket. You lose the triangle socket, you can socket these 2 to 3 times, depending on what setup you're running. And yes, every single school's square socket in every single school's square socket gives a different amount of HP. Storm gets 525, Death gets 650, Fire and Myth get 595. It's based on the school. Life gets almost 800, Ice gets like 700 something, yada yada. Although, again, like pins, these are school exclusive. You can get any school, you can trade these for any school, but you cannot equip them for yourself. I have these because, well, they may be Storm, but they are tradable. So, even if you don't get your own school, you can still keep them because they are tradable and usable by your other characters, which is really, really good. The drops are not school exclusive like how the Novice jewels were. You can get punishing pins for any school, I believe. So these are not school exclusive drops either. You can get any school dropped, and you can transfer to any of your characters like the rest. And, of course, once you beat this guy 10 times, you'll get his badge, and you'll be able to craft the gear like all the rest. You can just go to Wallaru. You can pay 12... Yeah, I think it's 12 for punishing. This includes punishing as well. You can pay 12 Dream Water, which you'll get every time, and you'll guarantee craft whatever you'd like. For the final boss, the invading fleet. So this boss drops the Athame and the power pins. Unlike the previous bosses, the drops here are not school exclusive because you can use power pins on any one of your characters that you'd like, right? Just like how power pins are in Novice, you can trade these and use them on any character you'd like. So they're not character exclusive, which means you can farm this boss on whatever character you'd like. Although I would only recommend farming this on one character, getting the badge, and then never setting foot here ever again, because you can literally just craft anything. Anything is tradable. So honestly, once you get the badge, you'll never have to do this fight again. There's no purpose in doing it. Like, this is a new Athame. I don't use it because for PvP. I still use the Aeon, but for some schools like my Storm, I do use the new Athame. It is fantastic. It is awesome. And yeah, so the strategy to beat this guy, the best strategy is a 2-round strategy. So what you do is you can mass feint, scout, insidiate, as always, like every other fight. But what will happen is that the minions will respawn. And once they respawn, what you'll want to do is link every single round. You link the Polaris airship. You link the ice ships, if there are any. The schools are in it because the bosses will respawn. You use link on the ice ships, and then what will happen is there will be this giant laser cannon that will do 6,000 damage if you set up a Scion condition. And what the great thing about Link is that it sets up 2 Scion conditions at once. It sets up the Fire Scion and Life Scion together, which means you'll fire the laser twice, thus dealing 12,000 damage, which then you would only need to do it one more time, dealing 24,000 damage, guaranteed killing every single one of the mobs. Every single time. And if there are no ice ships, you can simply use the blades from first round, and then add another blade to the fire hitter, and then you'll fire one laser doing 18,000 damage, saving a little bit of time, but that is very unnecessary. There we go. And that is it. That is all the bosses. And again, you'll get guaranteed Dream Water. Once you beat this guy 15 times, you'll get this badge. I did it once because it's a main quest boss, so you have to do this 14 more times, basically, because you'll do this once to beat the world. You'll get the badge, and you can craft whatever you like for any one of your characters, because everything is tradable. There are no pins here, except power pins, but power pins, unlike the others, they are tradable. I can give these to any one of my characters I'd like. And there you go. It also drops the conversion pins. These are all worthless. But yeah, you can also use these as well. Although the accuracy pins though are very, very good. And again, like everything else, a few Dream Waters, like 12 Dream Waters, and you can craft whatever accuracy pin that you like. So if you're missing Storm accuracy for your Krakens, or Dual School, or Myth for your Dual School, or whatever, you can craft them. Although you'll unlikely need to craft them because these bosses drop everything very, very well. They have very high drop rates. But yeah, the crafting is fantastic. It is awesome. It is wonderful, and farming could not be any easier. It is something that the player base has always wanted. For once, KingsIsle has done a good job when it comes to farming, because Novice farming was atrocious. Not only because of their horrible pity system, but because the bosses were annoying, and they took a long time to kill, between Design Duelist, and the last boss of Novice, the Polymorph, or even the boot boss that forces you to use a stupid spy card. You can't just simply kill them. And you only get the spy card after killing the minions. This is just thinking about Novice farming just hurts. But yeah, Wallaru is a huge upgrade when it comes to farming. It is so much better. Huge improvement. Something that the people have been asking for a long time. And honestly, it's shocking. It's shocking that KingsIsle actually listened. If only KingsIsle would listen when it comes to PvP. But that's a different video. And that's it. So that's how we get all the gear pieces. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and sub. And 170 PvP is coming. It is coming, right? 170 PvP is coming. It is very well on its way. I just had to quest my characters. I had to quest multiple characters. Get all the gear pieces. Make all the new pets because no more ward meta. So yeah, that's why there's not been any PvP for a few weeks. I'll get this video up there just for you guys to have something while I get my characters ready, and then the PvP videos they'll just start flying. And alrighty, so and that's it. Make sure you guys like and sub, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.